practice still. We're fine. So I think we'll start. Arizona, what's up, dude? Remember the first time you fought Elden Beast and getting beaten down so many times? Something cathartic about watching it get destroyed. I mean, yeah, I do agree, man. It's kind of nice to have a strategy that's decent on it, but it's a really good boss fight, dude. I like it a lot. I think that it's not showcased on this run properly. This run's just hilarious that you just destroy everything, but yeah, no, on a regular playthrough, I'm excited to just do like solo level 1 on it. I think that'd be really fun. Fastest time for a bottle of water was less than 6 seconds. Really? That's crazy. Speaking of which, actually, I need the timer for this run. Give me the timer. There we go. We're good. What are you doing to break the AI for Radagon? It's not actually breaking the AI. He just can't target me. So it's not the same thing as like an actual AI disable. So basically when he starts the fight, he takes 3 footsteps before he can start tracking you with an attack, right? So he's not actually in an animation or like a code, like a state in the code of the game to attack. That's why he never attacks within the first second, right? He has to walk 3 steps at least. So that means that no matter what you do, he has to wait that time frame. But if you immediately stop making sound and then get out of his line of sight, he can't locate you. So then you're basically getting him to relocate you by doing the sound of the attack when you do the jump attack to set up a stagger. And then by the time he can see you again, you go silent before he can actually indicate you're in front of him. So I'm out of sight, and then I'm tiptoeing out of the jump attack immediately. I'm actually pre-loading the input for it too, so the game knows that before it even happens, I'm already tiptoeing, which means the sound of the footsteps cancels the actual ending of the, the animation, or it leads right off the end of the animation for the jump. So the way to screw it up would be you'd already take a regular footstep. That would be too loud. He'd hear you right away out of the jump, so that even if you want to try to hide again, he's already going to attack because you walked those 3 footsteps, right? So you're just keeping him in a state of the intro of the fight by going between no sound and then no visual, right on the frames, or like the, that split second where he's able to actually do the attack again. Different bosses behave depending on the actions. Yeah, they definitely are pretty smart. The AI is decent in this game. Other than like just bugs and stuff like that and what we were just doing on Radagon. But even then, that's still harder to do, I think, than playing the fight normally. Like, it took me a lot longer to understand even how it worked than I thought it would. I'm playing with one hand. That wasn't good. Probably should have jumped there. Use pre-workout before you go to the gym? No, I don't actually. The only supplements I take are EAA and BCAA mix. Creatine, I take like a plant compound called Turk. Sometimes I take Ecdies instead, which is usually found in quinoa or spinach, but I switch to Turk instead because it works a little bit better with me. And then I take vitamin D, and I take athletic greens as well. That's pretty much it for me. And then just regular food. But no caffeine for me. I used to drink coffee once a day for a while. Before that, I drank coffee a lot more, but I slowed down. And then now I don't drink any caffeine at all. Don't have any other beverages that have caffeine in it. Just taking as little as possible, if not any. So I think energy mainly comes from just food, making sure that it's, I think, digested a little bit, or started to be digested before I work out helps. So the worst energy is when I've eaten a meal and then I try to do exercise too soon. So as long as I don't have like a super full stomach, I'm usually pretty good. I wonder how long all bosses glitchless run would be in the game. It'd be crazy, man.
Have they served you?
Do you get Turk from Grill Mind? I do, yeah. They complex it really nicely.
Then summon me.
And like I said, I tried the recommended amount of it.
It will sometimes treat him with.
It had decent results, and then I used the upper limit they recommend, and it was also pretty good. So before that, I was mainly just eating a shit ton of quinoa and spinach to be able to get the ecdystrone benefits out of that. But the milligram amounts in testing for even ecdies in compounds that are complex, even from like sketchy third-party companies is so small that the proposition of the amount you could actually utilize versus like an insect's weight, for example, because it's an insect hormone, right? They use that for like evolution and shit and to grow. So the idea is that because there's such a small amount of it actually in some of the compounds or the complex supplements people will take, if they actually put more in, it would be extremely effective, like to the point where you're actually getting such a good utilization as a human, the size you are, out of such a small amount of it, even less than you think it actually has in it. So it's something that I've been definitely studying for a long time. I'm interested to see like what if they can actually concentrate it at a higher amount, what the effects would be on a human, because there actually is no downsides. It actually has been said to improve cardiovascularity as well, which is great. So I think it's really cool actually. And then it makes me wonder like what the insects are going through when they're having it, because it's much smaller amounts of it than the milligram dosage that's complexed in a supplement when it's actually tested in a lab. Working on a no logout version of the run without warping or glitching. Anything to see how fast it can be done. Like a glitchless speedrun?
So the world might be mended.
I think there actually is people that
So
do
the
glitchless
world
speedruns right
might
now.
be mended.
I don't think there's a category on the speedrun website,
Heartwheeler, good luck for the run.
but that's cool, man. I'm gonna do something similar after we get through this and all remembrances. Definitely want to see how the glitchless runs are. Quinoa killer. You could call me that, dude. I've eaten a lot of it before. I was eating it every single day, twice a day. Orax, thank you for the 13 months. Welcome back, dude. Never seen a 100% speedrun of any Souls. People usually do all bosses. I've seen all achievements, but depends on what you mean by 100%. 100% could mean some different things, right, by definition. Racked, what's up, dude? No quitouts as well. Okay. For glitchless, I feel like quitouts are allowed, but maybe if it's not a serious category, I'll try it the same way that you're doing it, because I don't like the quitouts on the doors. I just do them because it saves time. And if you're running a category to try to be meta, you might as well keep up with the meta, right? Especially if you're trying to get a record at some point.
Figure to determine if you had. It seems torrent, whereas I'm in. There is, but I can take gathering.
Use the nitric from Gorilla. Trying to wean off caffeine. Not sure if you saw a huge difference. When you're taking Turk, but right now you're using the ecdystrone. Yes, it might be different. Like there's not a lot of, I guess, comparative data on like why certain people might respond to one more than the other, but they are really cool though. It's one of the most interesting things I think in, I guess, plants that I've heard of, or any kind of nutrients from a plant or things that come from nature. So it's pretty cool. I think I'm just waiting to see, you know, the, like on a monetary level, like how expensive is it for them to complex even a higher concentration into a supplement, and then if in trials it actually does equate to the proportionate benefit that you would imagine it would, like on a percentage level, like, you know, it'd be 2 times better or 3 times better, like if you put in, let's say they found only like 1.3 milligrams in it per 500 milligram supplement dose. Like imagine if it went to 2.6, like how would it be twice as good? Like what's the threshold of that? That's right. How do you stop letting Elden Ring ruin your day every time you play it? Just stop playing it, dude, if you don't like it. If it's ruining your day, don't play it. Mess around with the zips. I haven't, but there is a zip actually for damageless that you can use to skip the beginning Scion fight, or even just kill Scion and then get out of that area. So I'm going to be using that. Play more so you won't get angry. Refund, it's not for you. Yeah, you have to think of like, are you enjoying the game? Because you can get pissed off because you know, you lose in it, but if it's ruining your day, you have to figure out like why that's happening. it might just not be something that you're enjoying too much. Frost killed the final boss, no hit. Awesome, dude. Yeah, he was on it for a while. I remember I told him if he could do it within the day following, like when he said he was on, you know, the final stretch, like I'd be surprised because he still had 2 bosses left, and he's only doing them perfectly. So it's kind of crazy. I remember even without doing them perfectly, it took me quite a while. Scion Zip, you can do a true no damage run there. You can actually do true no damage list in this game, unless doing that screws up the game in some other way. The only question is how do you get the flasks? Not that it would necessarily be important, but I want to immediately try it and then go back to the beginning and see if you get the flasks. Because the blue one could help a bit, but if not, then we're doing one with no blue flask. Yeah, it's definitely something to try right after this. Mana flask would be kind of important. It's not necessary, but it would be important if you can find a build that utilizes it well. Depends on what you want to do, right? Like, I believe that if you were good enough, you could do the whole game SL1 without taking damage, or level 1 character, except for maybe Moog, but you know, the main content. Yeah, you're going to be limited to like a certain amount of weapon arts. Why can't I? Dude, I'm trying to get off and it doesn't work. Sometimes the button doesn't actually do anything there. That's crazy. Wonder if when you're in range of the chest or just this area, the inputs don't function properly or something like that. So I pressed L3 to get off the horse before and it didn't work. You let really small mistakes. Sorry, I can't speak. Really small mistakes ruin your whole mood. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Screwed that up. Well, I mean, maybe that's something that has to do with you then, not the game as much. So maybe not. Maybe it's not a question of the game itself. You find you have an issue getting off the horse if you're on the slightest bump. Oh, okay, that might make sense. Time for a name brand controller. I have a name brand controller. I have the newest Xbox controller. It's pretty new as well. It's not the controller. The game actually does eat inputs sometimes. Calling them a bad player? Well, if someone says like they're having an issue with like dealing with the game or something like that, and they like it, then obviously that's just something that has to do with the person, not so much anything you're doing. That's just an interchangeable concept, right? So that means you're probably going to get mad at a lot of different things depending on how you handle stuff. You must have hammer fingers. I think the mic just picks it up because it's not like super far away from it. It's right underneath. It's not too bad, but yeah. Agree entirely. It's definitely your mistake. Mental wiring is just whack sometimes. That's fair. Yeah. I guess it depends on how important or how serious you take the game too. The game is not real, so it's kind of like you're having a fictional, you know, mental and physical experience, and you kind of have to, or it's not so much physical, but you know, more so mental. So you have to kind of think of it as you bought the game, you paid for the entertainment from it. So, and you kind of get what they designed. They have a purpose of designing it, and then how does that align with what you actually wanted to get out of your values? So I can understand, like, hey, you spent 70, 80 bucks and you're not happy with what you paid for because you thought you were going to pay for something else. But if you paid for what you thought and you got what you wanted and then you're still not happy, then it might just be that you're taking it too seriously, or taking it in like a different type of context, since it is just a game. You listen to J. Cole? I do. His new album is actually one of my favorite albums as of I think it was last year it came out, right? The GPU market's going down. That's good to hear, actually. That is a very good piece of news. Especially if you missed the 20 series cards, you still have a 10 series or older. You want to get like a 30.
Soul of the lost withdrawn from its vessel.
Or whatever AMD equivalent. I haven't been keeping up with AMD, unfortunately, so I'm not sure what their GPUs are on right now. I guess the 570 is the newest for them or something like that. 570X or whatever. Raspberry Cinders. I hope you enjoy your emotes. Welcome. Also, by the way, guys, I forgot to mention we actually have a new emote. I just don't have the smaller sizes for it made from the artist. He still has to downsize it. But I'll show you what it looks like. Here, I'll pause the timer for a second. I'll show you right now before we go back in here. It's actually Alexander the Jar Warrior. But he's angry.
Let strength be granted so the world might be mended.
See if I can actually capture it.
So the world might be mended.
Hopefully this shows up. It does, okay. That is the emote. He's just like, no. Mick, thanks for the 38 months. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Yeah, so that's going to be there hopefully tomorrow, depending on when Carson has the chance to downsize him. Because that usually takes a little bit more time because he has to retouch a lot of details, but that is the new emote. And then we'll have some more on the way as well. Everyone say goodbye to Skull Mad. No, that's still okay. So that is still going to be there for a little bit. I just don't have a replacement for that one. We have empty slots for emotes. We can fill up another 4, I think. But the Mad one, I just want to replace with something else altogether. Wait, we're not going to EG. What am I doing? Am I? No, I'm going inside here. What am I saying, dude? Thought I was going to EG for a second. He's so wonderfully displeased, I know, right? Oh, your laptop's barely enough to run older games. Something like DS3 is a no. DS3 is actually way more resource intensive than I thought it would be. And they fixed some things on it, but they didn't make it run the way I think it should for the quality of the game.
How can I help?
Like, I had trouble when it came out too. Prices haven't moved for graphics cards where you are. Damn, I gotta check and see if they're changing over here. LHR cards are still in stock. LHR. What does that mean? Not sure what that abbreviation is. Best Buy has GPUs where you are, Gannon, really? I guess they do sell them. I was going to say, I've never thought of buying a computer part from Best Buy. That would be kind of weird. But I guess they sometimes do carry PC stuff. Or like they have pre-builds in like Apple computers and stuff, but I never like thought of like, oh, you could just get a GPU from Best Buy. That's interesting. You can do solo endgame content in intense games like Path of Exile. That's actually pretty easy to run. That was the game I used to benchmark my potato PC when I first got it. And then I gotta quit out again, right? Oh no, I don't have to quit it again here. What am I doing? That might have made a mistake. I thought I did because when I was practicing, it wasn't working when I was using the whistle, but it was because the Crimson Flask was gone. So yeah, see, that screwed it up. Damn it. Might have to die here. Shouldn't have quit out twice. Gugu, what's up? Also safe. How are you doing? Okay, we're gonna have to recall Torrent again, I think. Let me see. Oh no, wait. That might be good. Because he did fall. Dude. Thank God, man. Cobb, I have one in October. So quite some time. I'm actually on the ground at least. That's good. Nope. What the fuck's going on there, dude? Didn't want to jump that direction. The horse is so hard to control in this game when jumping it. Like turning the horse. Everything else is fine. Turning on the horse is weird, dude. If it was as good as the character, that would not be possible. We would be solid. Just gonna fall on this. How do people find this glitch? I think probably like Torrent died by himself. He fell off a cliff or something like that, and then someone tried to go from there and see what would happen. Oh, it's an instant grab. Nice. What training split am I doing right now? I have a push-pull legs that's periodized at the moment. Guessing you watch More Plates, More Dates. I have before, actually. Yeah, I bought his supplement, the Turk that he makes. So I was doing a little bit of recon on exactly like what is done to it that makes it, you know, more absorbable, and just like why it's more reputable than other competitors that make it too, and how some of the originators of it may have actually not made a supplement that works. Because I know that guy, he does a lot of research, so. But yeah, no, I'm trying to think of when I think I first saw his channel in 2000, I want to say 18 or something like that. Stizzled, what's up? How's it going, dude? Turn radius on the horses kill you so many times. It kind of feels like you have to wait for it to reach where you want it to go. Kind of like turning the character in Dark Souls 2, but even worse. When are you releasing your own supplements? It's called Squillakilla. I don't think I'd ever make supplements, to be honest, man. You threw away your attempt on the final boss because you wanted to fight it again. Kirky? That's pretty cool, actually. That's a testament to how good the design is, right? Used to train people, but now you're doing mainly full ODY 3 times a week. Allows you to recover quite nicely. Nice, dude. Niara, it's going pretty good. This run is not perfect. Like, we had a better pace yesterday, but I mean, it's going to be PB potential as long as I make it to the end. I just can't die too much on anything. Okay, so no punch on that. That should be fine. .3D Alpha. Oh yeah, I've watched his channel for like a long time, dude. Since like 2017, maybe 16. I don't even know. He's pretty funny, actually. He says some funny shit sometimes. Really love how the misconception of gamers being unhealthy is being so consistently deconstructed. Well, gaming isn't healthy, like in some ways, but then like there's extremes of everything. So the concept of actually playing a game in a traditional sense doesn't make you mobile. So you're not like working your heart, right? You're training your mind mainly, and then you're moving your fingers. It burns some calories, but it's not like an actual like stress on your cardiovascular system. It's not gonna make your muscles like grow or anything like that. But you could say the same thing about working as like an accountant or like working in an office at a corporation. Is the exact same thing, which is true, but it's more boring in some cases depending on if you like the work or not. It might be more exciting for some people, but largely though, anything that involves technology and interacting with it in a traditional fashion is exactly the same. The difference is where the brain stuff comes in, and then how it's affecting your brain too. And then obviously if someone were to get addicted, maybe they had a problem and then like it derailed their life, then that's more of a individual's user experience being exacerbated. So it's kind of like it goes through different levels, but no, it's not like typically healthy to traditionally play a game, but you could put that on a lot of things. But because it's elective, I think it gets looked at differently, because typically you don't have to play a game, whereas some people might think they have to go and do other things. Which they also definitely don't have to do, but you know what I mean? Like it's more of a necessity for them for their survival. So I think like when you look at it that way, it's different. But then you could also have something that is very active that goes to an extreme where it becomes unhealthy because it's too extreme. Just the same. So I think balance is definitely the most important part in that, which has always been a factor of like human nature. It's like if you think of even like if you were a caveman, you can't just hunt things all the time. You do have to do other things. You have to sleep so you can hunt. You have to eat so you can get energy to have the strength. You have to, recreate so there's more humans, or procreate, whatever. Okay, Stormhill Shack. Gonna go and get the weapon thing. So like even on the most base level of just like building a primitive world, there's still a balance or rotation of tasks. So regardless of how trivial or elective or technologically driven some things become, it's still the same thing. There's just more things to balance, and then the stress responses in people's lives are translated from a predator chasing you and trying to kill you to your boss actually being mad at you, and then you actually having the same fight or flight. So it just becomes more complicated because the world becomes more complicated. And you might react more to it.
Takes me back. Any interest? All I know. Now's the time. Well.
Considering you're at home and not many people like home workouts. Yeah, but you could like work at an office and then still not like workouts. It's the same thing, dude. It actually gives you, if you work at home, you have more time to actually do that because you don't have to commute. So it's actually less healthy to go to a place to still be sedentary outside of home, and unless like you have some sort of mental like thing that you can't wrap your head around with it, or you don't prefer it. But regardless, going to an actual place is still less healthy because you still have to like travel there, unless you're running there or walking there or whatever. But if you're taking transportation, it's still less healthy. So no matter what, if we look at actually like the mathematics, you would typically have more time to do those things, being any position where you could be at home, you know. I shouldn't have gone there, damn it. That was a good wrong warp, but don't want to go there though. Most enjoyable build for me? The only build I've done is for my first playthrough, actually. I did Strength and Faith. One of your main goals is a home gym, Cobb? That'd be really cool, man. I hope you get there. It's pretty simple. You don't have to spend too much for a home gym. It can be very, very cheap. I went through many different variations of home gyms until I came to the one I have now, which is still not even that elaborate, but it works though. You just gotta hunt for deals and get discounts. Buy things off people that don't want to use it. They're still in good shape. Never pay full price for anything. Unless you are okay with it. But for that stuff, you don't have to pay full price. You might have to be patient though. Speaking of which, I'm pressing the wrong button. I didn't press select. Oh my god. Oh wait, I forgot. The reason it doesn't work is because I didn't rest again. That's why. I did that the first time we actually had a wrong warp in this run, but I didn't do it again after that. You have to rest in between. So now it should be good. You have a pull-up bar from Facebook Marketplace, $30, works great. Exactly, dude, yeah. Yeah, man, that's a really good idea. And think of it this way too, there's some things that are a little bit like more of a labor to actually move, like to actually acquire. Not so much the price is bad, but like to actually get it from one place to another, you're gonna have to maybe have someone help you, but the people getting rid of it might not want to relocate, you know, to another home or another like living space and bring it with them, so they're gonna try to just get rid of it. They're not gonna want to throw it out, but they'll maybe make a couple $100 off something that's worth twice as much. So then there's people that definitely do want to make money off things that they get for cheaper, but you have to just, you know, like I said, be patient about it. You'll definitely find things that are a really good deal. So, is this latest patch? This is on 1.03. Yeah. This is a brag, but you're proud. You hit 200 decline push-ups last week. Nice, dude. Congrats, man. Also, Flim Flam, I appreciate it. That's very nice of you. I think that that's a good way to handle these situations, because we're doing a speed run and it can be stressful. So if we're a little bit more chill about it, it's not as much of a challenge, I guess, would be the best way to put it. Like I would impose a challenge on myself to a greater extent by being really angry about the run, or, you know, too like anxious about like how the details go, when I know I can just make the details better by playing better. And that the extra thought put into it doesn't matter, really. It's more of just practice what you know needs to be better and do it. But I also want it to be entertaining for you guys too. So yeah, I could like just buckle down, focus, get that extra % of performance out of the run, but I don't want to not reach out the whole time too. So how much do I bench? I could do 225 for a 5x5. I don't know what my 1 rep max is. I haven't tested it in a long time. But yeah, pretty average for someone that's 6'2", that has trained for a little bit. I think it could have been more by now, though. I definitely do think a lot about like what was left on the table just from bad programming and breaks over time. So I think it could have been higher, but I don't really have good leverages though, so I don't think it'll ever be impressive. But it works for me though. Probably hit 275 plus for one MR. You think so? I might test it someday. I don't have the interest really. It doesn't really do anything for me. Because again, strength for me is like the driver of hypertrophy. I'm not actually doing it for a number or like a metric, right? It's more of just like whatever stresses the actual tissue enough to grow. And then, you know, however I prevent injuries for the longest period of time, so I don't have to actually like be inconsistent. But yeah, if I was competing or I wanted to be like, you know, putting numbers up just for whatever personal reason for the sake of that, then I might not be too happy with that. I will be honest. Probably could be better.
Let strength be granted so the world might be mended.
Also Dragoon, yeah, that sounds pretty brutal, man.
Might be mended.
I was supposed to go to Rayo Lucaria Gate. Nucleus overload type stuff. I don't really do that kind of style anymore. I did train nucleus overload more when I was doing calisthenics and more like traditional bodybuilding type stuff with like less of a powerlifting foundation around it. But now it's not so much nucleus overload. It's extremely periodized and you know, restful. I even took like 1 day off a week longer or more every single week now, just because it works way better for me. And for example, if I have an activity where there's like a certain type of you know, muscle group that's going to be stressed a lot from that, I don't train that day on that group and do that, because it's just going to be ridiculous, right? So Not gonna like toast my legs before like snowboarding, for example. If I'm gonna go like for 6 hours, that's just not gonna work for me too much, because then it'll take even longer for me to recover the next day. But I want to hit them hard the next time though, for example, so then it leaves me super rested, and the joints get a break too. But again, I don't know, whatever works for you is the best thing you can do. I don't usually operate on the metric level or the numbers level, so when people ask me like a number for something, I'm just like, it doesn't really matter unless you're competing for like a sport.
Well, I presume. Oh, I am an old coto, perhaps.
It's more so if it's working. Oh, I didn't pop the other runes too, damn it. Upside down snowboarding video. I gotta find my GoPro, man. I actually don't have it right now. Obi, I don't know if I said thank you for the 2 years. Thank you for the 2 years if I didn't. Love to hit 315. I'll be honest, man. I think I'll be happy if I never do, just because to me, the hitting the 315 doesn't change my physique necessarily. Like it implies that I have changed it before that, because of the recruitment for that actual amount of you know, strength, but it doesn't necessarily mean, like, the number doesn't link to something visually for me specifically. Like it doesn't have a like a preset notion of anything that I have a goal of. With the idea, I guess I could say, like, with right programming volume, proportionate to what you need for your progressive overload, you could technically never do that and then still look better, or the same as someone that did, or the same copy of you in another reality that did, which is interesting. But you might just be doing more workload and having to have a higher work capacity, unfortunately. Just in a different format, more so in the volume. And that's where the injury might be preserved a bit more, but again, it depends on how quickly you reach that too. All right, let's see if we can survive the rest of this. No falling on the talisman part. That's not happening. Hey, tips for NG +3 Radagon and Elden Beast. Honestly, Pinup, I just had my first playthrough in this run to draw experience from. So I actually can't say. I mean, you could try this build right now that I'm doing. Like the move swap with the Bloody Hellas and the using the scimitar with the Warcry, or whatever weapon you can put Warcry on. But I don't know if it'll work for you the same way as it works in the speedrun. If you watch, there's a video I put on YouTube, just like my favorite 0 damage boss fight so far with Radagon being done 0 damage. That might give you advice on how to like perform him properly from, you know, the standpoint of not getting any attacks landed on you. But I don't know if it'll actually like translate for the weapon you have, or the character you're using. When are you going to do a no-hit run? I don't know if I'll actually do one on this game. We'll see. Definitely not anytime soon, but I think I'm going to try 0 damage with the zip from the Asylum to skip the death from Scion. I'll probably kill Scion and then just go backwards and then do the zip. And then I'll appear at Stormvale Castle, walk back to see if I can get the flasks first. And then if you can't, then we'll just start the run from there, from Stormvale. But that is the plan, though. Hitless, though, I'm not sure. I don't think that I have as much interest in that. If I can do at least a damage list, that's fine. But I do want to do speed runs for all remembrances as well. Ooh, that was close to the bird. Awesome, your max squat increased by 80 pounds. It's been a while. Wait, oh, I can't be healing right now. Ooh, spooky. How do you play on old patch? I don't know, actually. I've never done it. I'm playing on the current update right now. If you type in ! Speed Souls in chat, that might actually give you like some information on their website, because they typically give you all the stuff in terms of tools and just tips on how to speedrun the game, and it lists the records and everything on it too. That might be a good resource to like check, just to see maybe they do have a down patch around there, some sort of software that does it. What differs from hitless no damage? So in hitless you take damage, in damageless you don't. Your health bar doesn't decrease. It's the difference there. Hitless, you intentionally take damage to lower your health to get more attack rating on your weapon from certain items like Red Tearstone, or whatever the equivalent is in this game. And then you take damage falling off cliffs, status effects like poison, and scripted deaths like the Scion that kills you in the beginning, or just jumping off the cliff to kill yourself to go to the cutscene with the flasks. So typically things like that. Got a couple hernias, Vincent. Damn, dude. I'm assuming you're talking about for deads, right? So if you do damageless, you're doing hitless also. I mean, you're technically doing like damageless. Hitless would be like you're allowed to take damage. Damageless, you're not allowed to take damage. So you're doing more than hitless in damageless. You could say there's part of the rules that are still happening, but not all the rules are applying, because you're not allowed to actually do the hitless rules. The only rule of hitless you're allowed to do in damageless is you can't get attacked by an enemy. But then there's also more stuff that's not allowed. So if that's what you're saying, I guess that makes sense.
Thou who approacheth
Deadlifted it. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
death,
I hope you're better now, though.
I will not have it.
It's a lot of weight. 1,000 pounds. Though.
From me again.
I'm gonna have to rebuff, unfortunately. It's okay though. We can still do this. It's just bad RNG on the fight. Can do the buff in the second phase as well. Didn't get enough damage. Well, got enough, not as much though. We'll see how this plays out. Should be able to get one more stagger.
Witless tarnished. Why cover destined death? To kill what?
Sad Chunk, what's going on, man? I want to say you're one of my favorite streamers. You watched me for a long time.
So the world might be mended.
Playing all the Souls games. Thank you for being you and providing this awesome content. No worries, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching for that long, too. It's a lot of stuff. Been going for a while, actually. I was thinking about it. I guess we've had a lot of different chapters, and especially in the beginning, it's a lot of PvP. So I'm gonna be like, I guess, revisiting that with this game soon enough. But even if you've just been here for part of the, I guess, process of doing runs and stuff like that, it's pretty cool. COVID lockdowns fixed your shoulder because you were forced to sit down. Oh wait, were you just like repeatedly stressing it over and over again after having an injury? Was that the problem? You just needed to take it easy. ECO? I'm not sure if I said that right. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you for the Prime sub. I hope you enjoy your modes. Welcome. Also, Donut Drake, what's going on, man? What's the left-hand weapon? It's called the Bloody Hellas. Or if you want to be fancy, Hellis. It's the Blue D Hellis. There's a bug right now that makes magic projectiles invisible, and people have been using it. That's pretty crazy. Oh man, imagine PvPing and making your attacks invisible because you want to win. It's like, but it's competitive. Like, I want to know like what the actual explanation. Not to say that it, you know, like you can't do it, whatever. If you want to exploit it, obviously you do what you do. You have your repercussions. But it's like, I wonder what the reasoning would be. It'd be like, oh, it's top tier, man. It masks all the moves. It's like fainting, except for they just have no idea what's going on, and I do. But it's not actually skill based. This skip's gonna be the... Oh, that was interesting. I got stuck there and I ran up a bit. There we go. Beautiful. I forgot that I shouldn't be holding the sprint button after the first part. It makes it a little bit harder to spam the button for jump. Because it seems like the first jump you do works better as a running jump, and then the other jumps are much easier with just being regular ones. Do you know any stay-at-home jobs you could recommend? You're 18 at the moment, Sabas. Stay-at-home jobs? I have no idea, man. That would depend on the employer or if you're trying to start a business. Depends on like what your skill set is and what you can like get as a job for, like if you have a resume or something like that, or what you're willing to do to kind of like make something that works that way for yourself. I mean, the only things I've done personally that you can do from home, YouTube, Twitch, and the stock market, but it's like all three of them are extremely rare, and like you just, the statistical probability of you doing it and actually being able to like even have it be income within the first year is just very slim to none for any of them. Because first of all, even if you made income, it wouldn't be enough usually, so you'd have to still work something else. And if you did make it income, it would probably require you to do a lot of homework. So you have to learn like years of stuff in a very condensed amount of time, read a lot, study. You'd have to make your entire life like just learning everything you can about all of those ideas. I mean, it's not really that this one would count as home because you'd have to travel a bit, but you could just like buy things and resell them too. I've done that a little bit before. Probably would be fun if you actually enjoy the products that you're buying. Oh, we need the flask respec again. Damn it. Time lost on this one. Man, that's still the only thing about this run that now it's like a 50-50. Sometimes I've done it. There's some runs I haven't. But yeah, you could like buy things and resell them. You could just flip objects, like items you know about, if you learn about different markets of like physical things, like products or things that people find value in. But at that point, though, you're doing a lot of actual manual work to make a set amount of money for that without making money by just waiting or like passively. So it's kind of hard to just do that unless you're okay with just everything you do in like actual labor equates to $1 or something like that, and doesn't like go beyond that. But if you're smart with it, you could do that for sure. That's the only things I've actually had experience actually doing and making money from. When it comes to like just doing it on your own. So, but yeah, computer related stuff probably for companies if you want to be an employee. Start OnlyFans, make some feet pics. There you go. Make feet pics for Miyazaki. That might be a good way to do it. Damn it. Screw coding 4x all the way. There you go. I mean, hey, if you learn 4x really well, that's interesting. The ceiling for that kind of stuff is extremely high. So just the entry is, again, lots of knowledge, probably quite a few losses as well. And not a lot of traction the same way as like just getting guaranteed education or just like having a skill set preemptively for a much more generally accessible job would be. Because you'd have to, if we're thinking of it as a competition, there's already so many other people that are profiting off of it that spent those years, so. Any contributions of the routing this run, Pentagram? No, not at all, man. This one was already, the record was actually already kind of dialed when I got to it. There's like a couple things I did better than the record in some of the fights, but it wasn't because I discovered them. It's just because I actually was able to, like in my practice, learn what the best result was without seeing it on the actual current record video I was watching. But now there's a 34-minute one, so I wonder if that actually has the better Elden Beast fight in it. Since the one that was 35 minutes, I don't think it had as good of an Elden Beast as I had gotten a few times. But that's not even due to the player all the time. It could just be because it got away somehow. But no, I haven't played this run long enough to make the contributions. I don't think it needed any. It'd be definitely really cool too, though, on another category at some point. Just depends on like what's actually needed, right? That was a perfect exit right there with the buffs. It's also a lot less fire too. Okay, he got away early on this one. This sucks. Might have staggered a little bit too soon. I think that something to do with keeping him for longer in that spot would be me attacking too soon on the second stagger. Might be something to look into. Might be dead here. Yeah, that's good. Got it. So that's how we'll do it. Just gotta survive this now. Should be fine. Hopefully the Warcry lasts. Oh, it's gonna have to be another round. Dude, that's dude, don't do this to me, Elden Beast. Why you do this? There we go. Okay, it's all right. Nice, 44-34. So again, that's beatable still. Other run's going. We just got a PB. So not too bad. That was a deathless one for the boss fights on the later game. Also, whoa. Oh wait, someone those have follow alerts for the. Oh no, I shouldn't have quit out. Damn it. We're still going. It's not 44:34 yet. I was distracted by the alert from the because I have a HelloFresh sponsor for today's stream, so I didn't know the alerts for following were actually in there too. I'm gonna move the box to the top corner, I think, where the chat is not existing, or maybe we'll leave it. I guess it's not a big deal. It's only gonna be for today and one other day of the month, so I think for that one, maybe that's on the screen the whole time. I'll have to double check. About to head to the gym, Paulrich. Stop by again if you're streaming. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit. That was quite a funny run, but we got 45:01, so that's the new PB. What was the one before? 52 minutes, so 7 minutes quicker. And then I think I can still get it 5 minutes faster than that too. So we're gonna try again, but I want to actually quickly introduce you guys to HelloFresh, which is again the sponsor for this month for the stream. We're doing 2 sponsored streams for them, and today I'm going to be talking about them